We struggle against the realization of our innate worth. Humans are interdependent beings. Ancient wisdom traditions point to the non-reality of the individual human existence. This is the non-dual, which is at the heart of Eastern traditions, and the Christ mind, which is partially revealed in the New Testament. Yet generally, even in Christian religious circles, we have yet to accept this non-dual nature, what might be described as the oneness with God that Jesus prayed we would realize in John 17:1. In other words, we believe ourselves to be separate from God, other than, which is not in alignment with the Christ revelation. Our budding rational mind, in its own understandable hubris, constructed a description of humans as separated from nature. In that hubris, we separated ourselves from one another. We divorced ourselves from the evolved aspects of interdependence. This is the big sin that we have read about in Genesis. We ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We became rational beings. We bought into our separateness, the dual nature, the binary, the cause and effect universe. This was our sin. We had to partake of this strange fruit in order to pass through the cosmic initiation ceremony. It's like taking in a plant medicine and going on an intentional healing journey. Once you've ingested, you are on the ride. The red pill, Neo. You are the one. How do we pass through this ceremony? When do we get into the promised land? How many more trips around the mountain will we have to make? There are many voices now sounding in the wilderness. They are all saying, repent, change your ways, turn from the deception of the binary nature, eat from the tree of life, come home, you are love. The tree of life is guarded with swords, and Jung encouraged us to make this inquiry. The dragon is guarding the gold, as Mr. Joseph Campbell told us. We are aligning our labor with our deepest values. We are discovering our common work. We are passing through this initiation of fire together. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderers, worshipers, lovers of leaving, let's meet in that field. Matthew 13:44, as spoken through Rumi. Your friend, Travelin' Trav. J.R.R. Tolkien, the creator of Middle-earth, said, "The most improper job of any man is bossing other men. Not one in a million is fit for it, and least of all those who seek the opportunity." This sounds very much like I would expect from a man who birthed his own elven language among the many-layered Middle-earth. Tolkien discovered the freedom that allowed him to explore the bounds of his imagination, and this great internal event that we know as Tolkien's life has opened a door into love of story for multitudes. I do still remember my first read through The Hobbit. I love the Shire. I know the dripping of water there in the cave with Gollum. And yet, Tolkien was not just a bookworm, he also participated in the bloody trench warfare of World War I. Tolkien's combat time shows that he was a man capable of following orders. Tolkien had been to Mordor. Trench warfare is a brutal and terrifying experience. The fact that Tolkien was a combat veteran increases the power of this statement. He knew the terror of war. He knew the blood, he knew the guts, he was one who came back alive, a survivor of a great human trauma. He was among a very few survivors of his battalion. Tolkien knew how essential it was that we discover our purpose outside the bossing that we receive from other men. It is essential that we tell the stories that bring us home. It is essential that we fulfill our quest and then get back home. Burn the ring, get back home, Frodo. P.S. Why couldn't the big eagles have just helped us from the beginning? Some of us, like Tolkien, have worn the uniform. We have joined, we have submitted ourselves to the status quo. In fact, we wanted nothing more than to join the current iteration of what we call the church. But there really wasn't enough room for us there. And the uniforms just don't quite fit. New wine requires new wineskins. new wine will burst the old wineskins, and it's time for that next iteration for all of us to be free. Labor and the expression of worth.